to another edition. Well, I guess this is the first edition of what we're doing now, but it is MLB Player or Spanish Politician, the spin-off edition of NHL Hockey Player or European Politician. I'm Dan Ball. Conor, Byrne, and Sophia Alfieri join us as the two contestants today. Matt McAuliffe is on vacation in Jersey. Shout out to Shannon Keegan this week. So in lieu of putting together a new From the Bleachers episode, we're letting Matt have some time off, and we're putting together one of these anyways that will go out on YouTube, and then I'll throw it out audio-wise on the podcast channel. For those of you that are new, I have picked out 10 duos. One person that I name is an MLB player, and another person is a Spanish politician. This time we're doing players and politicians from the Dominican Republic. So shout out to the DR. That's what we're doing in this one. Ooh. Sophia Alfieri, before we begin, you are new as a contestant, but not as somebody who knows the segment, obviously. So how do you feel coming into this one?
Not confident. Not confident, but I'm excited. I haven't been a contestant in any FTB game that we've played, but I'm ready to give it my all.
Conor, now you've played this before. It was the hockey version. This is baseball, but I did say before we started, I tried to even the playing field a decent amount. So how do you feel?
I feel relatively confident. It's gonna largely come down to what eras we're playing ball in.
Okay.
So.
All right, Sophia, are you ready?
I am.
Okay, the first one. Waldis Joaquin or Desiderio Arias. Very fun names. Big time Scrabble words.
I think I'm gonna go Waldis is a politician. And Arias is a player.
Okay. Unfortunately, you are incorrect.
Darn it.
I'm going to say Waldis Joaquin is the player.
Correct. He was a pitcher for the Giants, the Nationals, and the Tigers. Arias was a soldier in Caudillo, wielding military and political power.
Of course.
All right, so you're on the board right away. Number 2, Franklin Franco or Stolmy Pimentel. I don't know if you've heard of politicians with any of these names before. Like,
no, I have not. I'm sitting here. I'm like, what sounds more professional and would be good in the government.
That's right.
And which would be on the back of a jersey. Like, that's right. How I'm looking at this whole thing.
Yes.
Franco's also a big Italian name, and I know that's not necessarily where we're going, but that's where my head immediately went.
Okay. All right. So where does Italian take you for that?
What do you mean? Like, where does...
Yeah, does seeing that's Italian take you to be like, oh, that means he would be blank?
Not necessarily, though.
Okay.
I know he is a person of Hispanic heritage. So
Right.
Franco is a player and Pimentel is a politician.
Oh no! Incorrect!
Oh no!
I'm gonna say Franco is the player.
Oh, incorrect. Stolmy was a pitcher with the Pirates and the Rangers. He actually started in the Red Sox organization, but yes, Franco is the politician. I was wondering where the Franco was going to lead. All right, number 3, Julio Solano or Abelardo Vicioso.
These names are amazing.
I know.
These names are incredible.
Prepping for this is half the fun because it's just like you're reading these names and then you have to figure out, okay, how am I even going to try to pronounce these?
I really want someone's last name, a player's last name, to be Vicioso because that is awesome.
I love the thought process. Unfortunately, you're incorrect.
No! Can you imagine? I feel like a walk-up song there'd be a perfect walk-up song for somebody with that last name.
Are these all relatively from like the same era? Or did you jump around?
Little bit of a jump around. There's nothing older. I mean, this isn't going to help you, but there's nothing older than like, I don't know, probably 70s, 80s.
Okay.
But there's some obscure ones. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. There are guys that played little amounts.
I'm going to say Julio was the player just because I know there's a lot of Julios in baseball.
Okay, that's correct.
There we go.
All right, number 4. Still plenty of time left. Santo Alcala or Guillermo Moreno Garcia. Our first 3 named individual.
First of a few, I can only bet.
I'm going to go with Garcia being the politician only because I don't know a lot. Like, I feel like that would just be a mouthful on the back of the jersey.
Okay.
So
You're correct.
That's where I'm going.
You're correct.
Guillermo, I think Guillermo is a politician because I feel like it is very professional for people to use like the full name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my thought process.
Okay, and you're correct.
Awesome.
Moreno was a lawyer and politician. He served as the district attorney from 1996 to 97 and had a bunch of other things. He was the president of Some Alliance. Alcala, former pitcher who won 14 games with the Montreal Expos. So you're on the board. 3 for 4. Good start so far.
Okay. I did well in the first half of the last game we played too, and then I just completely did awful. So still early.
We're moving along. Number 5. Pepe Frias or Maximiliano Gomez.
Man, I thought my name was cool. This puts it to shame. Like, big time.
I mean, it's got to be Pepe Frias as the player, right? Maximiliano just sounds like Maximilian, who was the Roman guy. So I'm going to go with Pepe.
Wow, you're correct. And I love the thought process behind it, too.
Frias is a politician and Gomez is a player.
Okay, incorrect, unfortunately. Frias was a shortstop in the 70s and early 80s. He hit one career home run in like 10 years, which is awesome. Gomez is one of the most interesting people I've ever researched. He was the leader of the Maoist Movimiento Popular Dominicano. So he was like a rebel leader, and he was killed by his lover. He was poisoned.
Oh my gosh. Somebody make a movie about this guy.
I know.
That's like a movie plot right there.
I know. He's the rebel leader. He gets killed by everybody said the lover was working for the guy that was in power. It was a whole thing. It's the Dominican version of Romeo and Juliet. So on we go. Viriato Fialo or Rodimus Lees.
I like the idea of like rad, like someone's rad.
Okay.
Baseball's not a very rad sport though, so like.
Okay.
Fialo is a player.
Incorrect.
Darn it.
I'm going to say Radimus is the politician.
Incorrect, unfortunately. He pitched for the Orioles. He was actually one of the more not to saying you should have got it by any means. He was one of the more recent guys.
Okay.
I remember seeing him a couple times just having watched Red Sox Orioles games a bunch. But Fialo he founded the National Civic Union and was jailed several times for being an outspoken opponent of the regime of Trujillo. Whatever. Anyways, he was outspoken. Incorrect. So you're a little bit of a run there came to an end, but still 4 more.
All right.
Number 7, Thomas Bobadilla or Osiris Matos.
I don't know why, but one of these seems like familiar.
Okay.
Don't ask me why. I could be making that up in my head. Who knows?
Okay.
Is Bobadilla a politician?
He is correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
I'm going to say Thomas is the baseball player, just because it sounds very American.
Unfortunately, you're incorrect. He was the first ruler of the Dominican Republic. He had a significant participation in the movement for Dominican independence.
Yeah, I was going to say that name kind of sounds familiar. Like, I think I could have learned about that in a history class.
Okay, well, you retained a lot more than I did in Quinnipiac, I can tell you that much. All right, number 8, Sophia back on the board. Roberto Novoa or Jose Rafael Abinader.
I feel like I feel like it's got to be Roberto for the same reason as the other guy. That's a mouthful on the back of a jersey.
Roberto's the player?
Roberto is the player.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
I think I got to go with the same strategy as before.
Okay, you're right. Correct. Those are kind of Those are all or nothing. Yeah, Abinader, he was a politician, lawyer, and writer, the vice president of the Dominican Revolutionary Party in Novoa. He pitched for the Tigers and the Cubs. He won a gold medal with the DR in the 2010 Central American and Caribbean Games. So he's got a medal to his name.
Gold medal.
Number 9, Wilkin Ruan or Gregorio Luperon. And there's supposed to be a little accent guy here. But,
It's okay.
He was made with love, but not with attention to detail.
Wilkin kind of looks like walking on down to first. Trying to think of like Matt, because Matt's like very good at these things.
I know.
Is Luperon a player?
He is not. Ruan was with the Dodgers in the early 2000s. Luperon was a military general and one of the leaders of the restoration of the DR after the Spanish annexation in 1863.
I feel like Connor's going to get this one.
I'm gonna say Lupero is the player.
Should have stuck with the first one. That's incorrect. Ruan was an outfielder with the Dodgers. Luperon was a military general and statesman who was one of the leaders of the restoration of the DR following their annexation from Spain. Okay, so you kind of called your shot there on the second half, but
Second half, not great.
you're still at 1, 2, 3. You got 5 out of 9 right now, so you have a chance to get a passing grade.
Passing.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah. Yandel Gustave or Miguel Coco?
I think is Gustave a politician?
He is not, and I wish he was, because that one sounds much more politician-y if I was to sound between the two.
I feel like Coco is such like a unique name, and I know Coco Crisp was only technically a nickname and a first name.
Right.
That I feel like there wouldn't be another Coco, so I'm going to say Jandel Gustave is the baseball player.
Correct! Gustave, he was a pitcher for the Giants. He, after signing with the Astros as an amateur free agent, he's actually still kicking around. And Coco was the general director of customs for the Dominican Republic.
Can I ask how you tackle this, or is that a secret that cannot be revealed?
There was a page on Wikipedia that was basically like a conglomeration of all politicians from the Dominican Republic that had pages. So I went through and kind of just did like a scroll, stop, point, and that's who I did.
Okay, I like it.
We've tallied the votes. Sophia Alfieri finished with 3 correct out of 10.
Okay.
And Conor Byrne finished with 6 out of 10.
Wow.
I wanted to be known that I didn't know a single one of the players. Like I never recognized them. It was strictly based off like Matt McAuliffe brain.
Actually, this was the best logic I heard out of the entire thing. Maximiliano Gomez, and he related it to Maximilian, who did you say, Roman?
He was a general in Rome. Like,
that is really smart. I like that logic. Okay.
Congratulations, Conor Byrne. Sophia, I know you have to go. So, Conor, winner's circle, anything you want to say to your adoring fans?
Put in a lot of time and effort into this. While I didn't recognize any of these players, I'm sure they all had very lengthy careers in the minor leagues, and I wish them all the best. My first win from the bleachers. I've never won one of these things before.
Plenty more to come on that, but in the meantime, thank you for watching and listening. BleachersRadio.com is our blog. Subscribe for the podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Follow us on Twitter @BleachersRadio. And, hey, we'll see you next time.
Peace.